Hey everybody, it's Rob. I'm back. I'm going to do something a little different this time. I was working on a machine called Authority on Hack the Box, and I came across something that I had never come across before, and it was an Ansible vault. Okay, and I was not really aware of how to take advantage of that. So I had to do a bunch of research, and it turns out that to break into an Ansible vault, there are several steps that involve several tools. So I thought it might be a good subject for a video in case any of you ever come across an Ansible vault and you want to try and decrypt it and get whatever's inside of it. Okay. So first and foremost, what I want to show you is you're going to need a tool called Ansible Core. And the way you install that is with the command pipx install Ansible Core. Okay. Now, I already have it installed, so when I hit enter, nothing's going to happen. But if you don't have that tool, you're going to need it. Okay, that's what you're eventually. One of the tools in that package is what you're going to actually use to decrypt the Ansible vault once you're ready. Okay, and to just cover the high level steps of what's involved, you have to create a text file with the Ansible vault in it, make sure it's cleaned up, no white space, etc. You're going to use a tool called ansible-to-john on that. What that's going to do is prepare it for hashcat. You're going to then have to clean that file up a little bit by removing some extraneous data, run hashcat on it, which is going to give you a password. That password is the password that was used to encrypt the Ansible vault. You're then going to use a tool called Ansible Vault Decrypt, and that is going to actually decrypt the original Ansible vault using the password you got from hashcat. So you can see there are several steps that are involved, and I thought that it would make sense to do a video for you guys to help you out so that you have these steps down and you can add them to your notes and add them to your bag of tricks as far as all of these machines go, because I'm sure Ansible is a pretty popular tool, so I'm sure that there's a chance you may come across an Ansible vault in the future. Okay, so what we're going to do first and foremost is I'm going to open up a text editor here, and I'm going to show you what an Ansible vault looks like. This is pulled directly from a file that was on the Authority machine that I was attempting to break into. Okay, and if you try to do any work on this file as is, you're going to encounter all kinds of errors. The reason being is you need to clean up all of this white space here. So the first thing we're going to do is that we're just going to clean up this white space and get this file ready for the Ansible-to-John tool. Okay, now that the file's cleaned up, we're going to click Save. We're going to call it vault.txt. We're going to hit Enter, and then we're going to exit the file because you don't want the file open when you do the next step. So we're going to open up a terminal. I'm going to make this bigger so you can see. And now we're going to run a tool that I had never used before, but it's pretty cool. I have used other to-john tools. There was one, I believe they have one where if you have an encrypted zip file, you can do this. But I had never used the Ansible-to-John tool. And the way you use the tool is you just type Ansible-to-John. And what's going on here is we're feeding the contents of that cleaned up file that we just created. That is the vault, okay? And we're just after we run it through the Ansible-to-John tool, it's feeding it to a file called vault1.txt. Now, all Ansible-to-John is doing is preparing the vault so that it can be processed by either using John or hashcat. I'm going to use hashcat because I'm a big fan of hashcat. So this is not actually going to do any kind of decrypting of the vault. All this is doing is preparing it for hashcat. And once we run hashcat, all that's going to do is get us the password that was used to encrypt the vault. We're then going to use that Ansible Vault Decrypt with the password to actually decrypt what's in vault.txt. Okay, hope that's clear. So we're going to run Ansible-to-John on vault.txt. We're going to output the results to vault1.txt. If all goes well, when I hit enter, we should just get a prompt. Okay, and we do. So I'm going to type ls, and we're going to actually nano vault1 because there's some cleanup we need to do on that file as well. So I'm going to hit enter. And essentially, I learned this the hard way as well. You need to clean up everything before this $sign. So hashcat for this Ansible hash is going to be looking for the file to start with a $sign. So we want to just back this up to the beginning of the file. And if you're in Nano, you're going to hit Control-O to save, Control-X to exit. If you're in Vim, it's going to be :WQ exclamation point. So now that we have the cleaned up file, we want to run hashcat to try to obtain the password that was used to encrypt this Ansible vault. And the way we're going to do that is very simple. It's hashcat. The mode we're going to be using for the Ansible vault is 16900. We're going to be running this on the file that was generated by Ansible to John, which is in a format that hashcat can process. And we're going to be running it against the rocku.txt or word list. Just ignore this show, okay? I'm going to hit enter. Now, because I've already cracked this, it was very quick, okay? I believe when I cracked this the first time, it took less than 5 minutes, okay? Now, once you crack something with hashcat, if you want to see the results again, all you do is append this show to the back of the command, and very simply hit enter, and it will give you the results of the cracked hash, which you can see it looks like they just raked the top of the keyboard while holding shift. So now that we have that password, okay, what we can do is we can use the Ansible Vault Decrypt tool to actually decrypt the Ansible Vault contained in vault.txt. Okay, remember Vault 1 was just in the format that hashcat could use. We want to decrypt the contents of the original vault file that we created. And the way that you do that is you type cat vault.txt, which is the file that contains the cleaned up Ansible Vault. Ansible Vault, we're going to pipe it into Ansible Vault, which is a tool that is included in the Ansible core pip package that we installed. And then we're going to call the argument decrypt, meaning we want to decrypt the file. So before I hit enter, I'm just going to copy this password. So copy selection, and then I'm going to hit enter. It's going to ask me the vault password. I'm going to paste the vault password in there. I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to give us the contents that was decrypted from the vault. So it looks like an account name. Okay, so that is the steps for decrypting an Ansible vault. Okay, you have to copy the vault into a text file, clean up the white space, run Ansible to John on it to output it to a new text file, go into that text file, clean up any extraneous data up to the $sign, run hashcat using 16900 as the mode. Then you're going to get a password from hashcat. You're going to then use the Ansible Vault Decrypt tool. You're going to pipe the data from the original vault file to that tool, and you're going to enter the password, and it's going to decrypt the vault. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.